welcome again to this fine episode of State of Society. My good name is Mike G, and this is another fine show that I've prepared for you. And I have an amazing, young, remarkable lady. Her name is Grace KURIA. She is a reporter at K24Tv, and she'll be telling us what goes into reporting and her daily schedule. Grace, welcome to my show.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm really glad that you made time to come here. Tell us, who is Grace KURIA from your own self? Who is Grace KURIA?
Okay. Well, Grace KURIA is Grace Njeri KURIA. She's born again. She's a reporter at K24Tv.
Did you always want to do this? Because I've seen you do some really nice features at K24Tv. Amazing stories, but some of them I thought were very emotional. Did you get emotional when you were on set doing those stories? Because they are of problems people face and all that.
By now, I'm used to it.
Okay.
Though at the beginning it was hard. Like there's a story I did on someone who had faced cancer, and I just went to the person's place and he looked not so nice. And you know, at the end of the day, you're human, so it gets to you. But by now I'm used.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are some of the stories that she has done.
Sunday morning. Bernice Muthoni, accompanied by her mother, a routine she has gotten used to every Sunday. Looking at her worshipping her maker, one would not know whether Bernice has a condition. After the service, the family leaves for home. Bernice is one of the 40,000 Kenyans living with Down syndrome. Joanne Kagema, Bernice's mother, says the condition was diagnosed late.
During our time, it's not like this time that anybody is able to Google, anybody is able to get information, you can demand it. But during that time, we had fear.
Raising a child with a special condition has not been an easy task, having to fight the stigma and discrimination that comes with it.
I've been having a case for my daughter for the last 1.5 years. Was abused in this home. The victim was taken, and we know him. And justice has people have tried to kill the justice for that child.
However, it comes with its joy, and while we were there, we experienced some of these special moments.
What have you said? Ate, who is this one?
Mom.
Mom. Today it was a great day. She has said my mom. Today it's a great day because I've never heard her saying my mom.
According to Dr. Makewa, Down syndrome is genetically passed from their parents and has no cure.
Is an inherited disorder, genetically inherited disorder, because of a chromosomal abnormality. We have what we call trisomy 21. Where instead of 2 chromosomes, you have 3 chromosomes.
In most cases, persons with Down syndrome rarely live past the age of 50.
Down syndrome is usually associated with congenital heart disease. It's also associated with CNS disease. Some of them can have conversions, mental retardation. And the ones with congenital heart diseases obviously can get infective endocarditis and other issues and other problems.
In more advanced countries, people living with Down syndrome live an almost normal life since they receive proper care. To the parents with children suffering from Down syndrome,
Parents that have children, but they are not able to come out and work with them, just because of either the stigma of the society, the stigma that they have in themselves, the stigma because of the people that they are living with. They need to wake up and cry out with a voice that those children can live a normal life.
33-year-old Bernice Muthoni is a normal human being. She can do what you and I can do. All she needs is a little patience and someone to train her. She has the potential. Grace KURIA, K24.
Okay, tell us now. You said that you got this opportunity to work for K24, I'm just wondering, was this a passion for you from the beginning? Did you see yourself becoming a reporter?
Well, I can't really say I saw myself being a reporter. What I'll say is when I was young, I got myself involved in many things that maybe showed that maybe one day I would be a reporter, because I used to be so active in public speaking, solo verses, choral verses. So I'll say that sort of prepared me for who I am now. But when I was young, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a gynecologist. My dad was a doctor, so maybe I wanted to follow him. My mom also wanted me to do teaching. But in the end, they all agreed that journalism
What did your
is
father
best.
want you to become?
My dad wanted me, he was okay with me being a gynecologist or a nurse.
Okay.
Provided it's medicine. Yeah,
I'm really sorry that you lost your dad 5 months back, and I'm happy to see your resilience in this. Now, I watched some of your features, and some of them are really emotional. The stories you give us, is it weekly?
Yes, weekly.
I saw like there are problems that masses face, and I believe this being media, you have tried your best to give us stories that we don't see on a daily basis. And did you ever feel very emotional, or did you get to a point where you felt like you wanted to cry, or when you're on set particularly?
Yeah, we're human beings, so I can't come and lie that, hey, I'm this superhuman being. And being a woman or a lady, our tears are usually here. So, like I was telling you earlier, like that cancer story, you just go, that guy was only 23 years old, he's amefura, the face. So it gets to you, but then you remember you are the reporter here. You're the one coming to see this guy. So what happens if I cry? That could kill him. So I have to put on that brave face, I have to smile and show him that, hey, you can survive this, you can heal.
I imagine it's not very easy to go with cameras and tell a story about someone who is in anguish, someone who is suffering.
It's not easy.
I'm sure that now you have got a mechanism of approaching these kind of situations and giving us a story that is worth looking at. But I'm wondering, did you want to do this kind of stories every day? Because all the stories I've seen you do are quite emotional.
Okay, I've always wanted to do human interest stories, to be precise.
So they are pure human interest.
Yes, and also my niche is also on health stories. Yeah, so health stories, that's when all those cancer stories and so on come in. And the human interest, I want to show, what we, as you said earlier, what we don't see daily. For instance, the story I did this Saturday was on the reformed commercial sex workers. So these are people that when you just mention them, the Koinange Street clicks to your mind, and
there's a picture that comes to mind immediately.
So when I go to this person's place and I interview her and she's reformed, she's now a preacher, that is something that can impact people out there that say, hey, I was once a prostitute, now I'm here. Juicy, I did another one on widows, how to move on after you lose a spouse. I just love stories that will impact people positively.
And I believe you are changing lives with this kind of stories.
I believe
profoundly. I have watched some of those feature stories, and I felt that what you were doing was something that we were not getting on news or on a daily basis. But I want to hope that you are destined for something bigger and better. Now, you are currently working for K24 full-time. You are a full-time worker there. So how is the environment of working in a media house that's been very consistent and very hardworking, and they get very many awards on cameras and the way they do their news? How is the environment? Is there something that you can tell us that is making you to grow there?
Yeah, it's great, but of course, every work, even what you're doing, you have your challenges, you have your ups and downs. But I think it all narrows down to passion. If this is your passion, you will overcome even whatever challenge comes your way. You're going to overcome it. So I love what I do. I love my job. I love reporting to the newsroom in the morning. If I'm not going to the field, I'm assigned a story for 1 p.m., 7 p.m., 9 p.m. If I have a story that I'm going to the field, I go and do it. So I just love what I do. For me, passion is key.
That's great. So we're going to take a short break now, and when we come back, you will be telling us about now the challenges you face at a very personal level and your future plans, of course. So we take a break and we'll be back in a moment.
By now you must be aware that October is Cancer Awareness Month. For many people, the moment the doctor breaks the news that they have been diagnosed with cancer, the first thing they see in their mind is their grave. Such was the case of Isaac Wambogu, a young man who for 3 years took on cancer and conquered it. We met him at his place in Kasarani, and unless one tells you what the young man has been through, one would not imagine that Wambogu has been to hell and back. It all started when he was in high school.
The last Friday of January 2012, I just took a shower and I was too tired. Nikajiuliza, why do I get tired? Mbona nachoka after kuoga? Yet a shower should rejuvenate me. That's how my journey started from there.
After being admitted in hospital, doctors discovered that his blood count was too low, causing them to suspect that things were awfully wrong. The family decided to fly him to India to get a second opinion, and this is where the bombshell was dropped. He had blood cancer.
I was like, what do you mean? Which cancer? I told him, go away, come back tomorrow, let's talk. And Grace, that evening was hard because I saw death. I saw death in front of my eyes like this. Because you hear cancer, you see death.
But what kept him going?
I realized I need to accept. That's the first step to my healing. I need to accept that there is cancer. I need to prepare my body to fight and live on.
Wambogu says his worst moments were when he went through chemotherapy and all its side effects.
After 3 months, I came back to Kenya, and now to continue with medication, I had to do radiation. And they were doing, they call it cranial radiation, where wanachoma kichwa with the rays. So I did 11 sessions at Mpisha. That's where my hair went.
A lot has been said about the killer disease, but is there something you can do to avoid becoming a victim?
Things like reducing things like alcohol intake, smoking. We're having so much pollution, we think that it may actually be having an impact in terms of cancer.
Remember, with early diagnosis, much can be done to save a cancer patient, but diet is key.
There is no science that directly links a specific food type to a specific cancer. It's always a matter of, if you're going to eat, keep it as healthy as possible and keep it in moderation, always.
And after battling with cancer between the years 2012 and 2015, Isaac has been cleared of the deadly cells.
Your time of death is not determined by your sickness. When it comes, it comes. Whether you are healthy, whether you are sick, whether you're in a coma.
I have nothing else to add but to echo his words. A diagnosis of cancer or any other deadly disease is not the end. What matters is the action you take.
Yes. It's the rest.
Grace KURIA, K24 for your health.
Welcome back. We are still with Grace KURIA. This is State of Society. In case you're joining us, she is a news reporter at K24Tv, and we just showed you some of the feature stories that she's done. And you're doing very professional work here. You studied at JKUAT University. How was the training of media there?
I'll say it was great. They exposed us rightly. They taught us well.
Okay.
Attachment was was nice.
Okay.
I'll say they're doing some good work.
You did broadcast option. Means that you had decided that you want to do this work. Now, I just wanted to know that now that you've discovered this and you are fully into this work as your mainstream career, what challenges do you face at a personal level?
At a personal level, wow.
You know, you are working with people, working with very professional people there. You found them there. They are your mentors in some sense.
True. Challenges are there,
Yeah.
but as I said earlier, we always find a way of overcoming them. In my career, I'll say the one challenge that has stood out is, especially after I lost my dad, you asked personally. So
yeah, it's quite personal.
That really got me. Of course, I took some time off, about 2-3 weeks, just to to be alone.
Reflect
but
and all that,
that really affected me. And it still is. 5 months is quite a short time, so I'm still coping. But again, it has helped me because it has given me a new perspective of life. It has changed the way I look at things. It has helped me to appreciate a lot what I do, even if in terms of what I do at work, because it taught me that, hey, today you can be here, tomorrow not here. So do what you have to do today and do it to your best. If I'm doing that story, let me do it to my best. When I do these health stories, that most of the times people get help. For instance, someone wanted money for surgery or something and they get help. I feel good because someone somewhere has been helped as a result of what I've done. So mainly challenges system, the usual ones, but I'll say what has stood out in my career has been my dad's death, which was sudden. I didn't expect.
Yeah, definitely. That's quite difficult. Now, I understand that media is primarily about masses, and everything you report to us as a K24 fraternity is on challenges that people face on a daily basis, and how everyone is trying to make ends meet and all that. And for you, being a media professional, I imagine you have to be very much aware of what's happening around, and you have to be in tune with not only the challenges but the needs of these masses. So do you feel like your stories are changing lives? Even though I know you said it before, but to what extent would you say, do you get feedback do you get feedback from people?
Yeah.
And what do they say about
feedback
you?
is the most important thing.
Yeah.
They say there's no bad publicity. Good or bad is okay. But for me, especially when, of course, our stories are uploaded on YouTube. So when they're uploaded, I am so much keen on the comments that I get. Of course, you'll get comments, good story, whatever and stuff. But I appreciate more, like for instance, the story on the reformed commercial sex workers I told you about.
That was last Sunday.
Yes, last Saturday. I do Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Saturday lifestyle, Sunday health stories. So there's someone who commented that I should have shown them more, and I'm like, yes, I also want to show more, but hey, this is something that we recorded in about 30 minutes, and I need to narrow it down to 3 or 4 minutes at most. So I appreciate comments that, I want the positive ones. I want someone to tell me I'm good and stuff, but if you have to criticize me, I will appreciate it, and if it's something that I can change, I will change it. That is now from the public outside there. I also appreciate feedback from my colleagues, especially when your boss tells you, you're doing good, or when they say that story, I appreciate all that. When they say I'm good, I appreciate, and I work.
What is the worst thing somebody wrote as a comment?
As a comment,
or maybe
I don't think
I've
I've experienced something bad, but
means your stories are good.
No, I have. Okay, there's this story that I did. It was such an awesome story on varicose veins. And then just when the story is about to end, I love putting music beds in my stories. So the bed was louder than, we call them bites, or what the case study is saying. So that messed the whole story, and I call him my mentor, Franklin Wambugu, just wrote me a text.
Oh, Franklin Wambugu is a mentor.
Yes.
He was in another station.
Yeah, but now he's in K24. So he just wrote me a text, get rid of that music bed completely. And I'm like, seriously, the story was just so good, and the last minute just messed it. And funny enough, people remember the mistake you did.
And what overshadows the whole story. But so generally you get good feedback on your work. All right. So maybe you can give a young person who is watching you a comment or something you want to say, plus anything else I forgot to ask that you may want to say to our audiences.
Okay. So basically, what I'd love to tell, especially the young ladies out there, go for what you believe in. You won't believe this, but when I joined K24, I was a camera intern. So I'll be a camera lady. But I didn't want it. So I went for what I wanted. I wanted to be a reporter. So I got myself to the newsroom. It was strange. This camera intern is coming to the newsroom. But I just found my way. I got to know what I want. I specialized on the health stories and human interest. And here I am, and this is not the end. I have a long, long way to go, but I thank God for the far that I've come. So basically, just go for what you believe in.
Thank you very much. And welcome back. We hope that as you advance, we'll still be getting your stories. Ukifika huko mazo usisahau.
Seriously, wasahau.
All right, we are really grateful that you watching this episode, and we are happy again and again. We hope that these stories will help you take something home and that you will be profoundly inspired. Until next time we meet again, continue to subscribe and to watch and share. Thank you very much.